Hi guys, welcome back to codyTV. I'm Cody, and today we're going to be talking about Wednesday, seasons 1 and 2. It's pretty funny because I didn't expect that the Addams Family would stay so popular after so many years uh, of having been on TV and in the movies. Um, I think the first time I saw the Addams Family, I was maybe 5 years old. My mom turned on a TV show, turned on a show when I just got home from school, I think. And I was like, oh, I don't know, I was probably five, maybe seven at the time. Um, and she wanted me to watch something, and she'd found. I said, okay. I sat on the couch, and there were all these goofy characters, weird characters, and I didn't realize what I was watching. And I asked her, I think I asked her what it was, and she said it was called The Addams Family. And I was like, wow, okay. So I just kept watching, and the more I watched, the more I got into it. It's kind of like Star Trek, you know. But one of the characters that caught my attention most was Morticia, for obvious reasons. But she reminded me a lot of Vampira, who was a character in an old horror movie, or I think it was a horror movie. It was about zombies, something like that, alien zombies or something from the 1950s. It was a movie, I remember that much. But Vampiro was one of the characters in the movie, and Morticia reminded me a lot of her, and which I didn't find out until so many years later that Yvonne DiCarlo, who played Morticia, actually modeled um, Morticia after Vampira, um, for the character of Morticia. I thought I didn't know that. I mean, she certainly looked like her, but I didn't know that Yvonne DiCarlo actually went that far. So um, or do I have my actresses mixed up? Let me. This is a Google-worthy question. I hate to say that, but aside from the history lesson for those who don't know, oh, stop that! My phone's going off on me. Um, yeah, okay, here we go. Yvonne DiCarlo. Oh no, Yvonne DiCarlo was Lily Munster in the Munsters. Okay, so the person I'm thinking of was Carolyn Jones, I think. Yeah, that's her. Carolyn Jones played. She she played Morticia in the Addams Family. That's embarrassing, but that's okay, you know. But hey, whatever. Um, it's kind of embarrassing that I got those two mixed up, right? It is. It is. Maybe now I should do a video about the Munsters. I don't know. Maybe further down the road. Maybe. We'll see. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about Wednesday. Wednesday Adams and her series, which is on Netflix. Wednesday. Oh, stop that. Phone again. Um, In season one, we got introduced to a lot of people. We also got introduced to a brand new Wednesday, played by Jenna Ortega, who did a really phenomenal job playing Wednesday. And she's just she's just cute as hell. She really is, and Jenna Ortega is, and she fits into the role of Wednesday very well. Um, I don't know. It just seems like Jenna is kind of tailor made for the character, and the series really works. The season one really works because we're getting introduced to a lot of people. We're getting introduced to the into the members, the important people in the school and everything. And we get introduced to people like Tyler, who almost becomes Wednesday's boyfriend. We even see them kiss, um, which was nice. I thought it was kind of early for such a character as Wednesday to have a boyfriend already. I don't. I'm not going to discount the idea of her getting into a romantic relationship with a character, but it seemed like season one, this early, is that really a good thing for the character? I mean, we're talking about Wednesday Adams. We're talking about a kid who is well, I shouldn't call her a kid. We're not talking about the little girl in the series series in the '60s. We're not talking about Lisa Loring. Um, this is a new generation. It is the 21st century. So, I'm being an old fuddy duddy. So, there. I have the right. I'm in my mid 50s. And, you know, but it's just, I don't know. I guess it's kind of like a daddy mode thing for me. But anyway. And we also got introduced to Enid, who is a very strong character and a great character to be Wednesday's roommate, who is equally cute and for a werewolf. And Enid and Wednesday really play off each other very well, and it's a lot of fun to watch those two. So they're not just classmates; they're also roommates, and they're working their way toward becoming friends through season one. And Wednesday just has this really, not through any fault of her own, but she has this kind of standoffish attitude when it comes to people. And there are only so few people that she can actually get along with. One person being is her Uncle Fester, who is an all time favorite character of mine because he is so weird, very much like me. And he and Wednesday just openly see each other as kindred spirits. I think that's a very large reason why they get along so well. If they didn't see each other that way, they probably wouldn't be able to get along because the Adams family it's a very weird family. I mean, she doesn't even seem to get along with her dad very well, Gomez. And Gomez is a great character. I mean, it was played by Luis Guzman. And if you check out the earlier movies, you see that Gomez was played by Raul Julia. Great actor, phenomenal actor. I've always been a big fan of his, but he was always a little too suave, to really be Gomez. I mean, he brought him to Raul brought him to life brilliantly, just absolutely nailed the character and owned the character for two movies. Just this is the guy we want to see play Gomez. John Aston. in the 1960s played Gomez as well, and he was very suave too, and he was very debonair. I think I said it. But if you compare the Gomez Adams in the series and in the movies to the Gomez that you would see in the comic strip, um, oh, I think it was in the New York Times that Charles Adams did the comic strip for decades, you know, almost literally. You would see that the Gomez in the comic strip was very different. He was this hunchback over kind of character, and he just was not a handsome person at all. He was really kind of like a ghoul, you know, in an odd way. But he was still a relatable character, and I think they did that with Luis Guzman, having him play Gomez again. Well, for the first time, I should say, in season one. And Luis really brings back how Gomez originally was in the comic strip. He was just this kind of hunchback type of character, an ugly, ugly person, and that was the original Gomez, to be honest. And I think that was just that was a great way to portray him. You know, the way he originally was. No disrespect to John Aston, no disrespect to Raul Julia. Both of them were great actors, very physical actors, very good with comedic timing and everything. They had a very strong sense of comedy with the way they did things, and they were both very passionate about their characters. So no disrespect to them at all, not even an ounce. Okay, but Gomez originally was not a suave, handsome character. He was not. And if you go back and if you look at the comic strips in the New York Times or the New Yorker, maybe it was one of those two, you'll see what I'm talking about. Because he looks like Gomez actually looks like a lump of a man. He just looks like a hunchback, man. So just throwing that in there. Um, but in season one, we got to we got to meet the new Wednesday very much, and we got to really enjoy how she just really develops as a character. She starts out being, well, I mean, she's not she's not one to show emotions on her face very often, and when she does, she really lights herself up with them, like with Enid at the end of a particularly brutal fight in which Wednesday almost gets killed, and Enid basically came to her rescue. And I remember this scene where Enid and Wednesday were coming face to face, and Enid is all covered in blood and everything, and there's all these people coming around and just kind of circling the two of them and all of this. And Wednesday was giving her a hard time, and about how how Enid didn't have to do the things that she did to help her. And Enid said, "You don't have to ask when you're friends, And she's really trying to push, really trying to make Wednesday see that they are friends. You don't have to ask your friend for help. You know, and Enid she's on the verge of just falling to pieces. And for the first time in the entire season, aside from when she gets to see Uncle Fester and gets to spend time with Uncle Fester, we really see Wednesday showing emotion, showing a basic emotion, perhaps. But when she hugs Enid and she really means it, and she's like, I am sorry, I am who I am. I am what I am. I am a very complicated person. I'm a very difficult person, but this is who I am. And she doesn't say any of those things, but in that hug, you can almost see her saying things like that, and it's a very touching moment for them both. And Enid just hugs her to pieces, and Wednesday hugs Enid back, and she's hugging her tightly, but she's not going to hug her to pieces. But Wednesday does realize that this is somebody that is going to be there for her no matter what. And even she recognizes this. So it's a really great moment in the season for them. And oh, sorry, still having to deal with sinus problems. And it is a great scene to finish that season with. So we finished off season one with Tyler being arrested and on his way to jail. But also at the end of season one, we see his eyes changing, and everybody knows he's Tyler O'Hyde, right? As a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. And the last thing we saw of him was that he was changing right there while he was in custody in that armored car. So, season two promises to be very interesting because exactly what happened to Tyler after he changed. I don't think he stayed in custody very long. It's kind of hard to say. Um, but it's going to be very interesting to find out. We also know that at the end of season one, Wednesday was getting photographs from her stalker, who had been sort of in sort of in contact with her, but not really. But the thing is, he already has access to her social media and things like that, and he's sending her pictures of her talking about no talking to Tyler and talking to another character who was a potential boyfriend. I forgot what his name was. Shame on me. But the thing is, this is a stalker who is absolutely going to be coming after her. At what point he will be, we don't know. Um, Christina Ricci may be coming back as Tyler's controller or handler, however you want to look at it. But if she stays out of the series, we don't know what Tyler is going to be able to do. He may not be in control anymore without her around. So that's going to make for a very interesting story. The relationship between Wednesday and Enid is going to be interesting now that they are going to be allowed to be friends openly. But there are rumors that season two will be showing them becoming more romantically involved. They might possibly become girlfriend and girlfriend. But this is a rumor. This is a loose rumor right now. And I have to agree with a couple of people that reviewed the idea. And they said, well, we can't really have somebody like Wednesday in a romantic relationship this soon because it might be damaging toward the character to get into a relationship this early as it would have been too soon in season one. And Wednesday doesn't really do romance. She doesn't really fit into the idea of, well, I'm a very romantic person. No, she's not. She's dark, she's morbid, she is lovable, but she is somebody that people would have to be very careful with. and she's just not really ready for that kind of thing. You know, Wednesday is not ready for that kind of thing. Enid might be, maybe in another season, but Wednesday, whew, you got to be careful around that girl. Um, so season two is going to be interesting. I didn't read anything new about the headmaster or the headmistress of the school of Nevermore. She will be, she will still be in the series from what I've read. And let's see whether Morticia and Wednesday will actually get closer together as mother and daughter, because we found out that Wednesday does have a certain amount of psychic powers thanks to season one. Now we just have to find out how far that's going to go, and you know how far she's going to use them, if she's going to use them that much, or if she is going to use them. Okay, how's she going to do it? You know, we know she can go to different places through somebody else or someone else, like maybe a ghost, the spirit of a dead person can inhabit her, and Wednesday can see their history. You know, which will be very interesting to see. We'll be getting a chance to find out all that stuff, and we'll just see what happens from there. Let's see. Uncle Fester and Thing. I have no doubt they'll be back in season two. I mean, you can't have a show like Wednesday and not have Uncle Fester, man. I mean, come on. Uncle Fester was one of the great characters in the series. Thing. It's the same thing. You know, it's you, you got a dismembered hand running around. You know, and doing communicating with other people, with people actually, with sign language. You know, or Morse code. How else is he going to do it? He can't say anything. So I'm looking forward to seeing those two back in the series again. But it looks like season two is going to be a lot of fun. So I'm really hoping, and I'm also hoping that Tim Burton stays in control of what's going on, because I mean it. This is his thing, man. This is the area that he specializes in. You know, I mean Tim Burton. I mean, this is the guy who made himself known, who made himself a hot property with movies like The Nightmare Before Christmas and Edward Scissorhands. You know, I mean, Sleepy Hollow was also a big hit for him. You know, I mean, this is a guy where the morbid and the macabre and the weird, that's his playground. You know, kind of like Stephen King. You know, but yeah, that's his gig. That's his gig, baby. You know. So if you want to see something macabre but still really cool, check out Tim Burton anytime. He's got a whole back catalog of movies you can choose from. The Corpse Bride, wonderful movie. Um, like I said, The Nightmare Before Christmas. His trademark, you know, and oh God, there's so many others. But chemo brain is not helping me much. But anyway, uh, I guess that'll do it for this video. Let's see. Next time I'll be I'll be talking about Star Wars. How things are not going so great for Star Wars, and what was actually the last great Star Wars movie? Was it Rogue One, or was it the Han Solo movie? Not for me. It wasn't. I saw that, and I'm ashamed to say that I saw it, because it just was not that great a movie for me. Rogue One might have been the last great Star Wars movie for me. because it certainly was not the sequel trilogy. But anyway, I'll be going over all that in the next video, in the Star Wars review video. So I hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you have a great week. Um, love to everybody. And if you want, you can subscribe to this to my channel if you want. I'm not making any money off this. I'm just running this on personal opinions of my own. And if you enjoy what I do, that's great. You know, you can leave a comment in the section down below. I'm not going to point down below because you know, I haven't uploaded this yet, so it's kind of weird for me to do that kind of thing. But if you like it, let me know. And if there are other subjects I could cover or other movies I could cover, I'll be happy to hear them. Hear a few suggestions, and you can let me know what you think. So, but for right now, I've got to think seriously about editing, doing a little bit of editing on here, and do a little bit of getting this put together so I can upload it. So, all right. We'll talk about Star Wars in the next one. Everybody have a great day. God love you. All right. Bye-bye.